Question number 10. Question number 10, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and asks, does he stand by his answer, no they're not, when he was asked whether New Zealanders are paying too much for electricity in light of the 5.2% increase in power prices in the past year?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I stand by my statement in the context in which it was made, which was in response to the following question. Are New Zealanders paying too much for power, as Grant Robertson suggests? And of course, Grant Robertson's suggestions were the usual combination of exaggeration and illogical statement, and that's why I said no, they are not. I went on to say that of course New Zealanders would prefer to pay lower power prices, but around the world the experience is that the best way to set power prices in the long run is to have a competitive market, and all countries that we know of have been moving from government-run monopolies towards more competitive markets. The Labor Greens policy is the only political policy we've seen headed in the opposite direction.
Supplementary.
We will just wait until the Labor benches are a bit quiet. Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Why is the Minister continuing to defend excessive prices for power for families and excessive profits for power companies when he knows that there is a direct link between cold and crowded homes and rheumatic fever in children?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I'm not defending excessive power prices. Well, the power prices will be much higher under Labor Greens policy because their climate change policies will cost the average household $500 per year. Mr Speaker, what we're arguing for is that in the long run competitive markets are the best way for consumers to get the lowest power prices. In fact, you could almost guarantee that the Labor Greens policy will lead to higher power prices. It's just a matter of when.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Why does the Minister believe...
Order.
Why does the Minister believe...
Right. Now we'll have supplementary question. Order. Question. Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Why does the Minister believe that it is acceptable for 250,000 of New Zealand children to live in households who pay too much for their power, or worse, live in cold homes and get sick because their families cannot afford to pay the big power bills that they face?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Bill English.
Of course it's not acceptable for people to be living in poor conditions that make children ill. That is why the government has spent hundreds of millions insulating those homes and precisely to get the health benefits. The cost of living increase in those homes is not 5%, as the member says. It's actually 1% for the last 12 months. In fact, a bit less than 1%, which is among the lower increases in the annual cost of living that we can recall. But if that member was that worried about it, why did she support the previous government who pushed up power prices 8% per year for 9 years?
Supplementary.
Supplementary question. Order. Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
How many cold, unhealthy homes would have been insulated for the estimated $100 million that his government has wasted on selling Mighty River Power?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I can't give the member the details on that, but I'd ask her this. How many homes could have been insulated for the 400,000 she's wasted on a dodgy referendum?
Supplementary.
We'll just wait for Annette King. Order. Order. On supplementary question, Metiria Turei. Could not.
Supplementary question. Does the Minister believe that it is an acceptable trade-off to allow children to live in cold, crowded homes and become ill because their families can't afford the power bills, while companies like Contact Energy make billions of dollars in excess profits because he will not do anything about the price gouging that New Zealand families suffer every month?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, if you were going to look at the companies as a measure of what's happened to power prices and profits from it, the Contact Energy share price, I'm advised, is lower today than 5 years ago, as is the Trust Power share price. If those companies were making super profits, then they would have super-sized share prices, and in fact they don't. It doesn't matter how much the Greens say power prices are at some ridiculous or excessive level, it is the case that they are rising much more slowly than when she was supporting a government who pushed up power prices for the poorest households in New Zealand by 8% per year and burdened them with 5 and 6% increases in the cost of living rather than 1%. So she should stop being as moralistic as she's wanting to be.
Question number 11, Sue Moroney.